Good evening. Today I want to start a series on deception, and I think this is very important for us, especially a lot of people have been asking me to talk about the last days and what's happening, and so I think it's important. So I'm going to do maybe 3 or 4 different video clips, maybe 5-6 minutes each short, so that we'll be able to download it and watch it fast. So an introduction to deception. This is the dictionary meaning of deception: the act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid. The act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid. Now, note the words act of causing, the act of causing. Now, based on this introduction, let's look at really what deception is. Now, the very first deception, where do you think it happened? The very first deception, wild guess. Where did the first deception happen? The truth and the surprise is the first deception happened in heaven. Right in heaven is where the first deception happened. Lucifer first deceives himself. Okay? He deceives himself. And how does this happen? Pride. He had so much of pride. He was proud of himself and then deceives himself. He thought he was better and bigger than God. So, what comes before deceit? What comes before deception? Interestingly, pride comes before deception, and that's exactly what happened to Lucifer right in heaven, not anywhere else. It started off there. So we need to be very careful. We need to be very careful. If the former angel of God can be proud and be stupid and foolish and get deceived right in heaven, it can happen to any one of us, okay? So that's how Lucifer deceived himself. That's the first thing that happened in heaven. So the issue is we need to be careful that pride, it starts off with pride. And sometimes we don't even know this. We don't even know we have pride until we really ask God, teach us, show us, people tell us, and then we examine ourselves. So this pride, listen be carefully. It starts off with pride. This is what it started off in heaven with. This pride, it is followed and it leads to arrogance, leads to ego, leads to ignorance, leads to foolishness, which basically amounts to lack of knowledge and wisdom from God. Now, after being deceived by his pride, Lucifer's pride, Satan's pride, after being deceived by his pride, Lucifer convinces 1/3 of the angels of heaven. Again, note, he gets deceived, right? The first victim of getting deceived is Lucifer, the former angel of God. He deceives, deceives 1/3 of the angels of heaven. Okay? Look at Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. Revelation 12:9, it says, "And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." So the first deceiver, the first person who got deceived in heaven, Lucifer, Satan, deceives 1/3 of the angels of heaven, deceives them, and they're all thrown down from heaven. Now we know who is the king of deception. We don't need any other introduction. Now we know clearly who is the king, who is the founder, who is the CEO of deception. That's Satan, it's Lucifer. Now let us look at the very first deception in the Bible. If we look at the Bible and how the Bible started, the first deception happened in the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. "But the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not surely die.'" What did he tell her? "You will not surely die." Now, I was thinking about this verse in Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. Satan, the serpent, telling the woman, "You will not surely die." What would that mean to you? You will not surely die. And suddenly it dawned on me, this is just a thought, okay? I'm not saying that you should believe this is just a thought. "You will not surely die," to me, in my translation, simple translation, I'm not making a big deal out of it, is telling Lucifer's already decided, telling himself, "You will not surely die for me, okay? You will live for me, but you will die spiritually to God." Okay, so there's a twofold in this. You will not surely die, meaning you will continue to live so that I can continue to deceive you and your generation. That means you will not surely die. So he's basically telling the woman, you will not surely die. You will live. You're not going to die, but you will live to be my victim, and your generations will be my victims so that I can continue to do this. But spiritually, he never told the woman. He never told Eve, you will spiritually die because you're disobedient and you've not obeyed God. Okay? So we need to understand this is very important for us, very important, because in this whole aspect of deception, the next 3-4 episodes and next 3-4 days that I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be telling you real examples of people replying to me. And to me, these are all deceptive replies. In my conversation and chatting with people, they're replying back. These are all good, lovely people, Christian people, pastors, some of them. And they're saying, it's okay with this, it's okay. Deception always starts with, it's okay. Don't make a big deal out of it. And so we need to be careful. We need to be very, very protective of our spirit, our soul, our lives. God has given us such a special gift of trusting Him, obeying Him. And remember, it started off all in the Garden of Eden. It started off with Adam and Eve. But before that deception of Adam and Eve, Satan himself was deceived, and he deceived himself. It started off with pride and arrogance. So let's be careful, take care, think about this, study the Bible, read God's word. I'll get back to you again.